Welcome back, pod people, to a brand new episode of Cinema d'Amore. I'm your host, Justin Morgan, and I'm here with... And we are continuing our excellent podcast where we discuss movies bi-weekly. And this week we are going to discuss Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another.
That is what we're going to do.
That's what we're going to do. I think it's on HBO now. I was waiting for the physical media. I did see it when it was in theaters. Sometimes Chuck will not see things. He waits for it to be on the podcast, so I made it a podcast one.
Just gotta save them sometimes.
Savoring them is interesting, because you'll be like, this is one of my favorite directors, actors, and then 2 years will go by, and you'll say, oh, I haven't sat down yet. I need to be in the right mood.
Gotta be prepared.
You could probably help me out a little bit here. Vineland, the novel. That writer...
Thomas Pynchon.
I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson's been a little obsessed with this guy for quite some time. And he did Inherent Vice.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was well received, but I kind of remember at the time them being like, this is a really, really hard narrative voice to pull off with this movie, which is saying it's inspired by that story instead of being a straight up adaptation of it, I'm assuming. Did you read this book before?
No.
I'm seeing a lot of critics saying that it kind of does match he finally did it. So I don't know how many takes this counts as, but they're saying that he finally pulled off that voice.
Yeah, there's definitely similarities between both of those movies. I've never read any of his books in particular. Both of these have kind of a bumbling protagonist that's always seems semi out of his depth in his own story. So I don't know if that's just a very common theme, or the way he likes to write his characters is they're never all there, whether it's from drugs. Both of them are heavily on drugs throughout most of both of the movies. Joaquin Phoenix's character in Inherent Vice and Leo in this film.
Deeply flawed. Leo in this movie is clearly not a bad guy, but deeply flawed definitely describes him perfectly.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix isn't a bad guy in Inherent Vice. He's just not the sharpest, not always the most aware guy in the room.
Yeah, and I think that this, I don't know how satirical Inherent Vice was, but obviously being very contemporary, you can see the satire is very in your face with everything.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I think in this movie sometimes things tend to get emotional or funny, but they're living in a world that is practically ours. It's not that far-fetched, even when it is far-fetched with the Christmas Adventurers Club, shit like that, the French 75.
I was going to text you because I just saw it the other day that there was those meetings for that one guy, Peter Thiel, and it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt was there and Josh Brolin's there, and they're like, whoa, what's up with that? And they're like, hey, I got no clue. I was never, I just showed up one time, felt very much they were in some sort of secret club, and they're like, no, we were never, I just went to a couple events. I wasn't one of the guys that was into all the stuff he's into. That's crazy that you would think that.
I did see the thing from Joseph Gordon-Levitt that's I've been to 2 of these things. The guy's never been there. I had to look him up. We're politically opposites. Everything we believe in is complete opposites. I'm just here to kind of learn about things that I could use in the future.
I was just there for the AI, man.
I was just there for the AI was, the gist of their entire conversation. It's kind of a complex movie with the characters, the emotions that they go through and what they are really about and what they care about. And there's some time that spans 16 years where we start in the beginning of this movie. What we have are freedom fighters, or as the government would call them, terrorists, and they are trying to bring the system down. They do everything from freeing immigrants,
blowing up banks,
yeah. We see little bits of them, as halfway through the movie, we see another character that's going in and still trying to help immigrants, handing out his business card and stuff like that. It takes on a very kind of serious facade, I guess, in the first hour of this movie, except for a few things that I feel surround mostly Sean Penn's character of Lockjaw, who's just absolutely insane in every single shot that he's totally in. I don't know if it's just the Christmas Adventurers Club. There's an element of Dr. Strangelove in this movie
Yeah.
that's like very specifically in the Lockjaw character. I mean, it kind of spreads a little bit to like the other ones because like we have these insane names for all these characters where you never flat out learn a real person's name. Like the most realistic name's Bob Ferguson, which is
His
an
fake name,
alias that he uses.
the
Yeah.
name of someone that's dead.
We know that his name's probably Pat because he's called Ghetto Pat, or they call him Rocket Man. Like everybody's got like these ridiculous names. Perfidia Beverly Hills. Almost every single person you run into has an insane, unrealistic name. But like emotionally, like I think everything in this movie is really well done. And I know the setup takes quite some time because the movie after that, the first act is done and the French 75 has to go underground. They've been compromised more or less by Leonardo DiCaprio's lover, Perfidia Beverly Hills. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say like it's not necessarily deep there, but once we get into the present day or the future, it takes on like a very different tone that I think that this movie really starts to get almost hysterically funny. Like I almost think that Leonardo DiCaprio, like almost every single line fed to him is gold that he gets to say. And he's not even just the funniest character. Like Benicio del Toro is equally funny in almost every single scene that he's in. It kind of does change into like a weird, it's so satirical that like if they're not straight up being funny, even when they're serious, it's so fucking funny. You know, when he takes off with those skateboarders and they're like, dude, we lost your man. We lost Bob. Like, how the hell did you lose him?
He fell off a
Oh,
roof.
he fell like 40 feet off the roof. He hit like a tree and stuff. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, does he have my
I also love.
does he have my
mean,
gun?
The funniest, probably one of the funniest things in the movie too, is that he can't remember any of his training manual stuff because it's been 16 years and he's done so much drugs, and it's like they give him those weird phrases, and like when he hits the one, it's just, what time is it? I don't know, man. Come on, you gotta give me a hint. He's like, you really should have studied the material, and he's like, I did. It was 16 years ago. It's like, come on, just tell me what it is. And he's like, you gotta know what time it is, man. He's like, oh, you're such an asshole. And when he finally proves that it is him, when he gets the one guy from the French 75 that was with him, and he's like, by the way, tell me what the answer was. And it's like, time is an illusion, but it controls us. And he's like, oh, you're such a pretentious asshole.
They're like all from songs and stuff too.
Yeah.
The line about the Beverly Hillbillies and stuff, and like finish it. It's a song lyric. It's not the deepest of anything, but yeah, the setup is when he's running away with his daughter and he's given his new identity and what their identities are going to be. And they're given these like maybe the most weirdly like spy scientifical thing are I don't know what to call them, beacons or something. They're like pagers, huge pagers essentially. And as they describe, only people in the French 75 that you trust would have one of these. And it'll change the tone when they're nearby, so you know that they have one of them. So study this material, learn this material to the back of your mind, and burn it. And then that's where we are. We get 16 years into the future. Bob is, like he said, he doesn't have the best memory now. Even when he does that one moment you're talking about, the scene where he makes the phone call, and he's like, for the love of God, do you know how hard it was for me to keep that phone number memorized?
Just remember the phone number.
There is a very weird, if you don't get the right response, then you can't go any further. And it's like, come on, you know who you're talking to right now.
Yeah, you called me. I don't think you understand. You called me.
Yeah, he's very clearly like a very different man than who he was beforehand. I mean, we do see in, I guess, what we would call the setup period, the minute that he has a daughter, he doesn't care about the revolution as much anymore. Or I would say that he feels like his fight's over. Like they shouldn't be fighting anymore. They're not really in-laws. I know they're not married, but like what would be his in-laws? Like they don't believe in him. So like I feel that he feels that he has to take up this like dad mantle because he has some respect in the world as a guy that makes these bombs. Even the little bit in the present day when they're finally going after him, and he has that little hole that he dug out, so he goes through the trap door. And even like Lockjaw, the guy's like, should we follow him? And Lockjaw's like, he's a bomber. I don't know if I would go down there. which is like a really great explanation for like, let's not follow him and we'll get him eventually. We're going to find him eventually. Don't worry about it.
Also, I will say the funniest moment out of the entire film, it is one of the best parts of the whole movie is the giant, like, I don't want to say, I guess, raid when Lockjaw raids the town that they're living in, because he basically fakes everything because he just needs to kill the girl. That's pretty much all or at least needs to prove whether she's his daughter or not, because he thinks that might be his daughter. And to get into the Christmas adventurers, he can't have had an interracial relationship, so he has to like cover the evidence. So he like raids this entire town, and that whole setup of Bob running around with Benicio del Toro, Sensei. He just keeps just like Sensei. Just won't call him by his actual name. But I do love when he's like, you want to use my phone? And he's like, no, I got to use my phone. And just the entire time, every time he stops every 2 seconds to plug his phone in, and Benicio del Toro's just like, Bob, come on. He's like, I almost had my phone plugged in. And he just keeps going from room to room. He's like trying to introduce him to his whole family.
When this movie came out, my one coworker is like, the funniest part of that movie for me was when, he's finally talking to Comrade Josh on the phone. What time is it? I don't know what time it is. And Benicio del Toro just real quick's like, yeah, he's just 8:15. That single shot too of him getting pulled over by being arrested, and they're like, "Sir, what'd you throw out your window?" He's like, "Just trash." "Sir, have you been drinking?" Just a few small beers. Just a few small beers. Like, okay. Even though Bob is kind of disconnected from everything, he's like a paranoid, basically hermit. The Sensei character is very, very connected to everybody. The community really knows this guy, and he really looks out for the whole community. And he seems to be on top of it for like every single person. Because like even the moment that we were talking about where Bob falls off the roof, he does get arrested. He's trying to go under like an alias. I guess he succeeds. I do like the comic book stuff, like, I'm Peter Parker, and these guys are like, come on, we know that's not a fucking real name. He's like, I'm Jim Parker. But the minute that he's talking to the receptionist or whatever, it's very well organized to get him out of there. And it was obviously like very clearly done underneath Benicio del Toro's character. This guy is like very, very well connected in this town, and he does really seem to care about like everybody. But like even that moment where he talks about Willa's cell phone, and he's like, Bob says, she doesn't have a phone. And then they just like stare at each other, and he's like, God damn it, she has a phone. He's like, yeah, everyone knows that she has a phone. Like he's that on top of it. He knows all this stuff about all these people. And even at like that's the weird like skateboarding scene too. Like not just when they're escaping, but when they're in the hallway and they like have to skate up to him to like have their conversation, and then the next guy like skates up.
I don't know. I almost feel like, you could nominate Sean Penn for Best Supporting Actor, but really should also nominate Benicio del Toro, because he's great in that movie for his limited screen time. Like every scene with him is great. I do like when he tells Bob he's gonna have to jump, and Bob's like, you gotta slow down, man. And he's like, nope, can't slow down. He's like, come on, man, slow down. And he just swerves the car real hard to like throw him out the window, because he knows Bob's like too afraid. He's not gonna jump. He
knows Bob very, very, very well. Bob is also like a very good character where like he's probably the most straightforward, and he's trying his best. Even that moment where like he's on the phone and he's like, listen, it's been like 30 years, which it hasn't been 30 years, but he's just like 30 years of drug abuse and alcohol abuse. I don't remember anything. He has that code. He does remember the code, which is basically like, I want to speak to your manager. And they're like, oh, you're really going to use...
It's like Code Gray or something like that. He's like, you're really going to do a Code Gray?
The Greyhawk? Oh, really? You're going to do that to me? Okay. Yeah, and I mean, like, you do see basically everybody that you see in the beginning from the French 75, you know what happens to them, because they do, like, assassinate a bunch of them, capture a few of them, and the two people that they don't capture ends up coming back in this. I also, like, as the movie progresses, you do realize that even though, like, Bob's a shut-in and you feel like his daughter, like, doesn't respect him at first, he's talked to her about this stuff, because very quickly when is it Regina Hall who shows up, she does the code, and he knows the code, she knows the thing, and she knows, like, she's like, oh shit, this is real, I have to go with this woman. From that moment on, you start realizing that she's been told a lot of things about this stuff, and it seems like the only thing that she wasn't told is that her mother more or less ratted out the French 75 and basically got it totally broken up and slash like murdered. And it is actually pretty interesting because the character of the mother, who's not like physically present in the movie, basically has affected the lives of all the main characters in this entire. You go from Lockjaw, who just kind of has like a weird like sexual kink with her. Like he's a military guy, he likes his power, but his like sexual kink is like a submissive type of thing. He really does. I don't know if he loves her, but he definitely likes her and was hoping that like he could start something with her. I just like the small details too, where like he's got two uniforms, which is he has his BDU's battle dress uniform, or he has this very plain like his dress clothes. But every time he's in the dress clothes, it's the exact same dress clothes every time you see
it looks like a cheap suit from like J.C. Penney's or something. Like it does not look like very clearly not high end or nice. It's like the most basic suit you could buy. And yeah, he only has one.
Yeah, he's dressed up in it like 3 or 4 times, like anytime there's like a moment going on. Even the first time that he starts to get initiated into the Christmas Adventurers Club, they meet at the guy's wedding, which I guess is supposed to parallel like Godfather. But they're like, sorry, we had to make you dress up. We know that we just had to make it look normal. The Adventurers Club probably mostly makes me think of, they're like the secret organization. They do absolutely make me think of something like the War Room from Doctor Strangelove. Their entire conversations are so ridiculous when they're like, we did find out something. He may have an inbred daughter. And then they're like, oh God, what race? And they're like, you know what race it's going to be. Black. And they're like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to kill this guy. Like they're like, immediately he's gonna taint our entire racist pro-white club. Like we can't have this guy
here. But then they're also like when they have that secret meeting, they're also all racist, like white nationalist guys. Like the thing he did that fake raid on that town, and they're like, yeah, they raided the chicken farm, which is like they bring up like a name, and it's like some made up name, and they're like,
the chicken
and
finger
that guy,
looking good.
Yeah, and they're like the guy that runs the company is also in the Christmas Adventurers Club, or is at least friends with those guys. Are like, oh, he wants his Mexicans back to work. Like he can take the other ones, but he can't take the ones that work on the farm. That's not acceptable.
And that's where the satire comes in. Like it's clear as day, like two-sided, and that's just like a one tiny line in the entire thing where it's like, yeah, he's mad as hell. He wants his people back in the kitchen working.
It threw me off too when they introduced the Christmas Adventurers, because I knew that I recognized the one guy, and I'm like, why do I know that guy? Like he doesn't seem like how I remember him. And then when I figured out it was Douglas from the Chair Company,
I
was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I could recognize his face, but I was like, no, the thing I saw him in, he was so weird. And then when I looked it up, I was like, yep.
That's not even the guy I thought you were going to bring up. But yeah, Douglas from the Chair Company. It's still creepy, even though you know that these are pretty close to real conversations that people were actually having. But yeah, and I also kind of got like, for a second, the guy that is going to have to track them down and the guy that started the initiation at the wedding are very similar looking white guys. Yeah.
Generic white guys in polos.
Yeah, generic white guys in polos. I don't remember my brands, but yeah, when we get to the end and he's got his little like gator on
Lacoste.
Him. Yeah, so fucking ridiculous. So ridiculous. But yeah, even like the sisters of the Beavers.
Yeah.
The secret sisters of the Beavers. Everything is just absolutely insane. I do really like one shot, one moment too, where it's Willa and Regina Hall's character, and she like tells her to be quiet, like I hear something, and she leaves the room. And then the shot showing out in the hallway, you see the soldiers, and it's like they've already infiltrated the whole thing and take her in. Also, the fucking kit, the DNA kit to check, it's so fucking insane plot-wise to be like carrying that shit around. We do get to the moment, like obviously there's going to be spoilers, and we're pretty deep into this movie. When they do the DNA test, Willa, the daughter, Charlene's her real name, is doing the test, and she's so fucking hurt when she finds out that Lockjaw is her actual dad. It fucking kills her. she loves Bob, but it's like she's never gonna. I don't think she's ever gonna tell him that at all. Like she knows that will just destroy him. And I think it's kind of crazy too, because you do get to a moment where you think when he does this test and he finds out the truth, is he going to go through with trying to kill her and cover this up? Or is he going to have a change of heart? And the character like very much would rather be a part of this club. I don't know if it's because it's like he was hurt so bad when Perfidia Beverly Hills ran away from him and ran down to Mexico. Like, did he think he had something? Because I mean, he does show up at her hidden house or whatever with flowers. And you know, when she doesn't answer, then he immediately busts her door down. He also does really gross shit with his lips the whole time. Like he's got some sort of weird like tick.
Licks his comb to fix his hair.
Yeah, which is based off something else that he saw like from another movie or something like that.
This movie maybe has one of the most interesting chase sequences to end with. The way that it's shot in the environment that they're in with those rolling hills. Like it's such a weird like gives almost like an optical illusion. Like they keep going in and out of these hills and dips and around turns. And I just love the way they do a lot of front mounted shots with the camera on the front of the car, and you could just see like that point of view where it just like dips down. Then you're like, oh, is the car actually going to be there on the next rise? Like, are they actually still going to be there? Which then leads to a great moment when Willow's escaping and she parks the car like right at the top of one of those hills, so that the assassin chasing her just slams right into it as soon as he gets over the hill.
Another great part about that, or when he gets out of the car and he's all busted up, she's asking him the code to see if he's a friend or a foe. So without 100% sure knowing that he's a bad guy, she almost fucking took him out. Like, took him out right then and there.
He wasn't taking any chances.
So like the River of Roads, I don't know how this movie had the climax, but I know that they didn't even put this in the movie until they were doing location scouting and were like, this is great. I know Paul Thomas Anderson said that he had this mount on, I think he had like a 70 millimeter camera for the chase scenes. The shots were like so clean that he's like, people are going to think this is AI. So like they loosened the bolts on all the stuff that was like connecting it. So the camera would shake during the scenes and like make it way more intense. But yeah, it is really fucking funny. Like the whole way that goes down, because he is in Lockjaw, offloads Willa to, is he Toe Jam? Yeah. Whoever the native is that gets rid of people. Basically, that's the same around the same time that like he's blast off the road. Bob eventually like finds him, and Bob has that like slow ass Nissan that's like screaming and it's not is like going like 60 miles per hour,
being like maxed out.
Yeah, it's such a shitty car. It's a funny car. Like when you're gonna have this chase sequence, there's something really funny about putting him in that most ridiculous looking car. So there's this weird set of things that are happening and going on and setting stuff up where like he has this emotional like breakdown because he thinks she's dead and that she was in that car, because that's the last thing he saw was her being put into that SUV and like taken off. But then it's like he gets down there and he's like, where is she? She's not here. I have no idea what's going on. I like how he uses the local Mexicans to like give him a heads up on like which direction that they saw like the last cars traveling. Yeah, you get to that great sequence where the cars, like you do, it looks like an optical illusion, you're saying, like in California where like it's just going up and down the roads, and then she's by herself, and then it's got the perfect tension where the bad guy pops up and you know she's in her mirror like, oh shit, I'm being followed, like I know I'm being followed, I know this person's chasing me. And then after a few more hills, you get that little Nissan like button around the corner. So like he's involved in it too. It's such a rough scene too, because like I think her killing that guy, like shooting that guy when he didn't answer the questions, you know, she killed somebody, and this is all real, and it's just so much to bear. And her dad shows up, and it does feel the tension's still there because you're like, is she just gonna fucking shoot him, or is he gonna shoot her? Like you feel like anything could happen in that moment. She starts asking the questions, and he like it's like back to like I don't know, like I can't think about this right now. Like it's me, it's your dad, it's me, it's me. Yeah, you just get to that moment where it's like I guess he kind of like succeeds as a father from that point on, because everything that he did to teach her to survive somehow has paid off. Like it has worked out. It doesn't really seem like anyone else is going to be coming after him at this point. But yeah, like the whole your mother is out there. Yeah, she she might have ratted us out, but she's definitely is a good person, like deep down. She just had that fight in her where like she never wanted to let go of that life. She wasn't ready to like settle down that life. Obviously in the revolution now, she's like in the new version of whatever the French 75 is, because they're doing the radio calls. She's clearly leaving to go do something like that. So she's very much like her mother.
And now Bob's got a phone.
Bob has a phone.
Trying to figure out how to take a selfie with it.
Yeah, he's trying to figure that all out. Lockjaw did not die in that car accident, which honestly is like another layer of just it's so absurd that it's funny that like he was shot point blank in the face, but now he's just a guy with like a really messed up face. And yeah, when he has that meeting, and it is really funny where they're like, yeah, this is going to be your office right here. Oh, and maybe it's because I've seen it twice now, but the acting is really funny for how bad it is. We're like, oh man, I forgot I forgot the keys. I'll be right back. And he like clicks that door shut. Yeah. And them killing him, gassing him, and disposing of him. This is quite a wild ride of a movie. Everything does have a lot of payoff, even though it seems to drastically change the tone at like the hour point where we are in the future, and it's got like the Steely Dan music playing. But like everything from that period's really fucking funny when they're like, how do they find you if they can't track you? And they found him because like he had the fucking calendar on the wall. For what is this academy? It's like the St. Carlos Ninja Academy or something really like. He's yelling at him like, don't step on the floor. It's
just tatami.
Yeah, get off the tatami. It's disrespectful, Bob. And even when he's hyped up, like everybody else is like so chill and so calm. It gets so ridiculous too, where even that scene when the military's showing up in their helicopter to get Bob for the first time, like it's such overkill for this character that they like who's way out of his element. He's way out, you're way out of your element, Donnie, because he's obviously channeling the dude, which is one of his dad's favorite characters is the dude. This movie has also been a long time coming because of his dad, who was in Licorice Pizza and was like really gunning for that to get Leo on one of these movies. Nominated for Academy Award. I think it was a great performance. It didn't win. I don't remember who the hell. I don't remember
Michael B. Jordan. I thought beat him.
Oh yeah, because he was there were two Michael B. Jordans.
Yeah. You can't compete with two.
You can't compete with two.
Maybe one. Maybe one he could have beat, but you can't beat a guy doing two performances in one movie.
It still won 6 Academy Awards, and I feel like it won for its writing category, directing, best picture, editing, overall best movie of the year. And it probably was like, it's one of the few times where it matched up where I thought it's deserving and it should win, but I really thought it was going to be something else to win. I don't know if this is necessarily his best, but this is a great movie. I'll double down on that one. I think maybe the only one that I tend to somehow love more and more and more is There'll Be Blood. I don't understand it. Like, we've talked about it, but it does have that weird, every time you watch it, it does get better. Like, it just somehow, you just find something else to admire about it.
There's always something there.
And this might be the same case, but I think because this movie gets so silly, with just like everything in it is ridiculous. Like the names of the operations and everything has a ridiculous name, regardless of if it's supposed to be serious or not.
I mean, hey, I feel like he's done more comedic films than straight dramas. I mean, pretty much the only two of his films that really aren't comedic almost at all are his two with Daniel Day-Lewis. Like, other than that, well, I guess maybe The Master.
Yeah.
The Master's another one.
No.
But Master does have some comedic
Master's
moments.
very funny. Master's very funny.
It does have some pretty ridiculous moments in it too. But I mean, yeah, other than those two, like most of his movies are fairly comedic. He's a comedy guy. You think he's a drama guy, but he's secretly just a big comedy guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that milkshake thing was really funny, and There'll Be Blood. Phantom Thread. Yeah, there's nothing. There's
No
nothing funny in
comedy
Phantom
there.
Thread. I really don't. Yeah, I do love that movie too. That's another like I. It's another one of those movies where the premise would never get me. Like, oh, it's about this designer, this costume designer in the 1950s in France. What the fuck? And only Daniel Day-Lewis could have pulled that off. I don't think anyone else would have made that movie nearly that interesting. Yeah, and even this, it's like he cast a lot of his regulars, like Hames in it, Alana Hames in it again. She's got kind of like a smaller role. That one guy that is, I'm trying to remember what his name was. I want to call him Goose. Who's the guy that gets bagged by Toe Jam and they take him in to question him, and he gives up everything,
Oh,
once he
yeah.
realizes they have a sister.
Yeah, I don't remember the actor's name, but yeah.
That guy has a lot of screen time too, I think, for not. Well, we had Avon Barksdale. He barely had anything in this movie. Even the guy that was like, "What's my favorite type of pussy?" That just just walked away whenever shit was going down. He's just like, "I don't know, nothing I can do. I'm just gonna leave here." I don't know who that was, but yeah, it's just this movie's just riddled with great lines. I love the nuns being like when Willa's talking to the nuns and she's like, "What, do I look just like her?" And they're like, Not really. No, you don't look like her at all. I think it's the shots. The shots get me, or the setup, I guess, to some of the shots. The one where Lockjaw's spying on the French 77 and he's masturbating, watching Perfidia, and he's like, yeah, he's getting really into it, and then Leo slaps her ass, grabs her ass, and his face is just like, who the fuck's this guy? A few scenes later where Leo's going to the store to buy stuff, and that scene too where he's just like, what's your baby's name? Boy or girl? It's a girl. She's a girl. Charlene. Charlene, that sounds like a black name. You like black girls? Because I love black. It's such a I don't know how. I don't think I could look him seriously in the face during that scene. That'd be such a hard scene to do. I don't like him. I love black girls. That's like creeped out by him. Like, fuck, we got to get out of here. And what are the nuns doing too when they're like, who's up in those hills over there? Oh, it's the nuns. They don't really bother people. They just grow weed. And then it's like, oh, how far we've fallen. Like, it just gets it's just so ridiculous.
Even the nuns are criminals.
There's that scene, it's in the trailer too, and it happens twice, which is the moment after Lockjaw and Perfidia have sex, or whatever the hell she's doing. Obviously they have sex, but whatever the hell she's doing, Lockjaw on the wall. And it cuts to her being pregnant, like very pregnant, firing that machine gun. When we get that cut to Willa firing the machine gun too, in like the very same place, like these are, French 75 people that they've dealt with in the past. And it's like very, very interconnected. But even the small stuff, like when they're doing their raid to try to find Bob and Willa, and they're trying to make it look like an immigration thing. And there's like the lines of like, you can't trust any of these people because they're so far gone that they're going to be in support of the terrorists. So don't believe them at all. I think this movie, almost from the last 2/3 of it, is almost nonstop like fucking funny for the most part. If not, like there are some things that like that scene where Bob gets above the church and he's got the rifle and he tries to kill Lockjaw. I don't know what the hell he hits because it looks like he maybe hits him spot on, but then Lockjaw just like gets in the car and drives away. And when they return fire, it's like, it's very intense. Like it literally sounds like it's like he almost like getting shot in like the neck. I think this will be one of his performances that stands out, Leonardo DiCaprio. He just doesn't do funny enough. And there was a line, it's an operation or somebody else's code name. The code name's like Whiskey Sour. And I'm like, that has to be an inside joke to the Whiskey Sour scene from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's like, 1 whiskey sour, 2? No, 8 goddamn whiskey sours. I don't know what that is. Is that like Paul Thomas Anderson having a blast being like, yeah, this is funny, Leo. We wanted a funny Leo. Yeah. Second time watching it too, I did get a little bit more emotional. I got more emotional when Willa found out that Lockjaw was her dad, and when she killed somebody for the first time, and how that like affected her. And yeah, like, and then like all the stuff with her dad and stuff, like how much she cares about him. Like the beginning when they're like, "Did you drive home? Who drove you home, baby? I know how to drink and drive." Paul Thomas Anderson nailed it. So much great shit in here. He's definitely callback. There's like a lot of callbacks to like goofier stuff. Obviously, Big Lebowski's like a huge one. Like when you saw him in his pajamas, you're like, I can't think of anybody in a robe.
Yeah. Who else is running around in a robe for a whole movie?
Yeah, just not Jeffrey Lebowski. Yeah, exactly. Just smoking weed instead. Like, and all the weed stuff is really funny. But yeah, when he's when he's in school for like the parent teacher conference thing, he's getting very, very emotional for like how good his daughter is, and obviously sees a lot of his ex in there. And obviously Lockjaw says the exact same thing. He's like, "You're feisty just like your mom. You have that thing about her too." And everything's great. Even like the car chase, like in the beginning too, where they rob the bank. And it's just like a terrible car chase where
they're
like,
driving
they're
around in
not
like minivans. They're even driving in like good cars.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. Like, they're not just missing things. They're almost entirely hitting other cars like the entire time that they're trying to plot this escape. Which it's funny to me too, because they seem like they really have their shit together at that moment. Where like they're coordinating the bombs. He's on top of his bomb game when he's talking about how to make the bombs. His woman's like touching herself, like, "You're getting me all hot and bothered with your bomb talk, Bob." Well, no, he's not Bob then. He's Ghetto Pat. Did I overhype it?
No, I knew it was going to be good. It's Paul Thomas Anderson. He doesn't make bad movies.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think any of his movies are bad. Not even like a little bit. Like even the ones people argue, it'll be like, Adam Sandler wasn't funny in Punch Drunk Love. He kind of was, but maybe not in the slapstick, weird Billy Madison type era of Adam Sandler. He's definitely not that. Also, he's another guy that's championed for Adam Sandler. Everybody knows that Adam Sandler, there's like a good dramatic performance in there. And obviously we get it timed, like they wanted him in Inglourious Bastards and then used him in Uncut Gems. He does a lot of serious roles, but like, yeah, him in Uncut Gems is one of the best casting decisions I've seen, because like it does fit very well with his humor too, and that is also very funny a lot of times in that movie. Academy Award winner, Best Picture. I think it deserved it. Actually, a lot of the movies, I get to the point anymore where most of the movies, Sinners, Marty Supreme, what else came out? They were all very good movies too, I thought. I wouldn't have been upset if any of them had won. I think it's been a while since we had a Green Book in there, which I still have not seen Green Book. And I'm not going to see it unless you pick it. If you pick it, I will watch it, because that's what we do. I've never had any desire to see that movie. We'll be back in 2 weeks with Chuck's pick, whatever that may be. I already have my next pick figured out, so Chuck knows what he's doing. But next 2 weeks from now is a mystery to me. See you then. Bye.
This is Cinema D'Amore. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for upcoming episodes. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and wherever podcasts are heard. Subscribe, rate, review, and above all else,